I'm sorry?
We just started recording. That's all.
Okay. All right. So a few seconds on a slide here, and then we'll get into the tool. If you have data that you want to share, I think you can do that in the Melissa. They can share it.
Yep. With James at intellectus360.com, and I'll put that in the chat again.
Perfect. Thank you. Okie dokie. All right. So, all right, let's get started here. So, a quick question. How many folks are students? How many folks are faculty? Just kind of curious about this. If you would put that into the chat, that would be great. All righty. And while you're putting that in, yes, our students. Okay, here, lots of students. We have one faculty here. Melissa just put in. Okay. So maybe 1/3 faculty. I think it's about right. So it makes you want to show the courses too. So, all right, let's just get to it. All right, thank you all. Thanks, John, Isaac. Okay, great. And if you have data, please do share it because we can bang that through pretty quickly. So let's focus on the quantitative results first. Going to touch on quantitative courses. We'll touch on the discussion chapter, and then I'll just touch on qual and lit review in a moment. So, okay. So we have to understand the basics. When we do any of the quant work, you really have to get in your brain, what a nominal ordinal level of measurement, nominal ordinal scale levels of measurement are, and what an IV and DV are. So that's kind of basics. We'll get you logged in here, okay? And then show you how to set up data, conduct analysis, download, and then I'll show you something about the discussion chapter draft. So just briefly, the tool uses or categorizes variables in 3 ways. It's either nominal, like name only, male, female, Republican, Democrat, so forth. So they're just labels, okay? There's no hierarchy to be had. Ordinal level variables have names, small, regular, big gulp size, okay, or something of that sort. So they have names, small, medium, large, or whatever, and they have an order, okay? But they're not equal intervals in between there. So from a small to a regular Coke might be 8 ounces to 12 ounces. From a regular size Coke to a big gulp might be 12 ounces to 32 ounces. So labels and an order. Continuous, or it's called scale or ratio or interval. I'm using these all interchangeably, but basically they have a label, 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch. They have an order, 2 inch after 1 inch, 3 inch after 2 inch, and then they have equal intervals in between. That is the same distance or the same volume or the same time between intervals. So just know that, okay? The other quick thing that you need to know is really what a independent and dependent variable is. Covariate would be helpful, but for most folks, an independent and dependent variable would be sufficient. And essentially, the dependent variable is what depends upon the participant or the observation, right? So I'm looking at, how fast folks can run a 5K. The outcome variable, the dependent variable, is the time, and that is dependent upon the runner. Okay. Now I can look to see if there's differences on runtime by gender. Me as the researcher is selecting that independent variable, and typically independent variables are selected by the researcher. I could look at it by age or gender or location or country or whatever. All right. So just having some sense of the outcome or dependent variable depends upon the participant. And you'll see that both these icons here, as well as IV and DV, come into play in the tool. So now's the time to get logged in. I guess I have to update this with the lit review. So you can go log into this right here, into this URL. Okay. And while we're waiting for you to get logged in here, and if you just want to watch and follow along, that's absolutely fine as well. So I will mention that if you're feeling that some of these three questions have come across your brain, you would not be alone. So after close to 30 years now, students and faculty can come and they can say, I don't know which test to conduct. I don't know how to conduct that test, like where are the assumptions and so forth. And I don't know how to interpret that raw output. Intellective statistics kind of overcomes those three challenges and much, much more. But just to let you know, don't feel alone. So let's get into the tool itself. So the tool is web-based. So there's, I'll say, four kinds of applications and tools. One is intellective statistics, which is doing quantitative. Intellective qualitative, which is doing thematic analysis. The intellective lit review, which is drafting a lit review or vetting articles for you very quickly. Intellective lit review. And there's also the courses for quant and qual. So 5 kinds of broad categories there. So all of them web-based. Okay. So let me just go to those 3 challenges I just mentioned earlier. Let me just load up a data set here. So folks don't know, what to do. We have a decision tree here. And a decision tree, you can answer some quick questions and say, I want to, look at the relationship between 2 variables, like 2 variables, and I can run a Pearson correlation, and then just put your variables in. Let's just say age with pretest. I think this will be okay. And you can see the results are interpreted in plain English. It preloads assumptions. And then the results here, there was no significant correlation. So just a quick, what do I do? Decision tree. How do I do it? Let's plug the variables of interest in. Okay. And then what does it all mean? Well, in this particular case, there was no relationship. Okay. So let me now just take a step back and show you that. Let's see here. So most data that you get from Qualtrics or SurveyMonkey kind of looks like this, where you might have some, demographics, you might have some Likert type items that are still in label form, and then an open-ended question. So to get data in, that's under the projects tab. And so you can get data in kind of really 4 ways. One is really to upload data file, and you can upload data from different file formats here. You can paste in like an Excel file or type in into the enter data manually. There are example data sets to be had if you want to play with different data based on the analysis. And then you can also share projects if you'd like as well and be able to see that. So those are the 4 ways to get data in. I'm going to just upload an Excel file, the Rosenberg self-esteem scale. So once your data is in, you can just hit upload. And the data gets thrown into a data cleaning wizard. If you don't want the data cleaning wizard, you could just exit out of it there. But if you do want to do things like update your variable names, like particularly if you have the question, the whole question as the variable name, that's not good. You want a nice short name there. It's going to be helpful in the tables. Fix misspellings and then create composite scores. Oftentimes, Likert type items are not the end result, we want to actually create composite scores there. So we can just exit. Oh, let's just do some of that. So in Qualtrics and SurveyMonkey, there's often 2 rows of headers. We don't need that. We just need the variable names. And then we can change the variable names here if we want. So we can just say, okay, we want to call it gender, fine. Oh, okay. And then once you click out of it, you can apply changes. We can then go to getting rid of misspellings. So here, disagree's got 3 E's and 2 E's. We both mean disagree. So this is before and after the merge, and it will just change it. Oftentimes, for some reason, like even with like gender, there'll be male with a capital M, male with a small m, or things of this sort. And this is a good time to clean up that data. So I'm going to do that for all the variables of interest. And then often there's Likert type scales. And I happen to know that I have a 5-point agreement scale that looks like that. And I want to turn it to numbers because to create a average, I need to turn those labels into numbers. So that's what we're going to do is that's before the conversion, after, and for all of these variables here. And then I'm going to go ahead and create those composite scores. So I can name pretest. You can choose the sum or average. You can choose to reverse code an item. Some items are asked in the reverse. The scoring sheet would have told you that already, okay? And then you could change other, create other subscales. So let's just go post test. This one is just this sum. You'll see the new variable sitting there. So, okay, so there we are. And then you could have an ID variable if you'd like, it doesn't hurt. And finish. So really what we've done is we've turned these Likert type items into numbers and then created those composite scores there, okay? The 2 other things that I would do to clean up, sometimes you have variables that are in ranges, like age. You can change, and it's really not 1, 2, 3, 4-year-old participants, but they're in age ranges. You could turn that right to ordinal, okay? And then just really type right into that. Okay, and then you can put that right in back into that same variable. And you can see that sitting right there. The other thing that I would do is that sometimes there's open-ended items. So this was a question about transformational leadership. And we have a function called text classification. And in text classification, what it does is it looks at those responses and uses basically AI and some statistics to kind of bucket them into different groups. The beauty of this is that you can now use those groupings to interact with your other variables. We have plots available. We have different analyses from assumptions down to, well, I'll say descriptives and correlations, all the way down to, structural equation modeling, regressions. Most analyses that you're using are sitting right here. So I'm just going to do a couple of quick things like run descriptives. And you typically want to run descriptives on your demographics for sure, maybe on that categorized open-ended question, and perhaps on our pre-test and post-test. So you just select descriptives here, put in your variables here, and hit calculate here. Streamlined. And what you see is that we really have a little write-up here. So we have an APA table of our demographics, or other questions. And you can see the most frequently observed category of age was 50 plus. Okay, you can see that over here. The scale variables, means and standard deviations with helpful scrollovers. And I'll just do simple tests that we can look at people like to look at t-tests. So we could do a paired t-test and say, are there differences between pre-test and post-test? You'll notice the icons are only going to show variables of interest that have that level of measurement. So again, we just selected the test, put the variables in, and hit calculate. And here, as I mentioned, all the assumptions are built in. Here, to assess normality, we use the Shapiro-Wilk. There's other tests. But it also importantly interprets that assumption for you. So here, having a non-significant Shapiro-Wilk means that the assumption is met. Okay. And then the results, we can see was significant. Here we have an APA table, and here we can see that the post-test is greater than the pre-test. And we have some of the interpretation there as well, and a bar graph. So that's the kind of nuts and bolts of getting data in here, doing some management. Okay. Doing some plots, which I didn't do, but I can quickly do let's just look at profile plots. Let's just look at pre and post test scores by age. Again, notice the icons. Also notice the video tutorials in the management, plots, and analyses. There's quick, I made 80 videos or so. And here you can kind of see the different age groups. You can scroll over and see what basically everyone has had lower pre-test scores and higher post-test scores. See what's happening there, and you can export these in numerous ways. Okay, so that's the kind of very basics of quant analysis. Again, there is lots of helpful scrollovers. There are two things up here. One is under the question mark. There's the video library, and really it's a pretty good library sorted by, how do I upload data, or how do I conduct descriptives, or how do I conduct a t-test? And it'll bring you right to it. So that's really helpful to know. The other thing, faculty, if you want a personalized demo, you can get one right there. The other thing, if you're struggling for, I think our rule of thumb is 20 minutes, but let's just call it 2 days. If you're struggling for more than a couple of days, you want some consulting, I can support you with that personally. Just click there. And, but I want to show you, so that's kind of the quant. So let me just add something here. Now, let me just layer on. So there's the quantitative tool. For the faculty, there's also quantitative courses, both for DMP and for just regular statistics course. These are all competency-based courses, which means that the grades go to your grade book, it goes behind your learning management system, and you can kind of curate like which particular test you want to offer to your students, okay? Or if you want to upskill, you can get them individually. We're happy to send you a couple if you'd like. So the tool and courses. The other thing I want to mention is the discussion section piece. So this is, again, it's not even an extra charge. So here, there was really a data set that looked at professional efficacy and job demands and so forth. We are editing this page, but at the moment, what I would suggest is that you really put in the full author's name of centralization, Hagen Aiken, job demands, put in the full name of these things, okay? What does that buy you? What that buys you is after you conduct your analysis, you can go to the insights document. It's going to be called discussion draft. But when you go there, it's an amazing thing that we're using AI to look at your results and AI to kind of contextualize those findings. So the interpretation of the findings, I did mediation, talks about that, talks about other variables, then looks into theoretical implications and practical implications and limitations in future research. This is a 10-hour savings right here, okay? So it's really worth, I mean, and the tool is like 59 bucks, okay? So the tool is cheap. So, you know, in the spirit of getting the draft of a results and discussion in a half an hour, since it took me in my dissertation a year, I'd say it's a pretty good buy. So check it out. So it's been designed for you to use, okay? The support has been designed to give you in that moment support. So that is the quantitative piece of it. Quantitative tool, the quantitative courses, and the insights, which helps you with the literature, with the discussion section. I think I'll just stop there for the moment and maybe just see if there's any questions or if people have shared any projects.
And if you have shared your project, feel free to just raise your hand and then we'll unmute you and get into your project.
And if you have any questions at all, I know I speak quickly, although I think people can hear faster than we can speak. But hopefully, if there's any questions or want me to review anything I mentioned, please say so. Okay, I think we have a question over here. Questions about confidentiality regarding data. Great question. So the total win, Sherry, really is to de-identify first, right? As long as I don't have Joe Jones at this address with this, you know, diabetes condition and this social security number. So the first thing is to de-identify. The second piece is really under the privacy. That's why we have AI policy. Under the that should just be a good footer because privacy comes up. So I think it's under the FAQ, if I'm not mistaken, and security. Yeah, and Melissa, we definitely want that in the footer. And then, okay, so privacy, here we are. So we use encryption. We have a better phraseology of all this. But basically, we're encrypting it when data is in transit. And when data is stationary, we use AWS servers or Amazon servers. They care about data as much as you and I care about data. So, and then de-identify. Okay. Has anyone shared any projects? Because otherwise I will touch into several other things here. Or any general questions about what you're working on.
All right, we have a hand raised, so.
Okay, I think this is the usual suspect over here. How you doing? Mapelia?
Yes,
Mapelola.
this is Lola. Can you hear me?
Lola. We've met before, right?
I know, just a couple of times.
A couple of times, just a couple of times. Well, all right. That's good. That's more than most people put up with me, so I'll give you that much. What's going on, Lola?
All right, so I wanted to find out this application, is this in this your application itself, is it available for subscription or is it like a package that you purchase?
Perfect
How
question. Thank you.
does-
You're not on the payroll, are you, Lola? That was a great question. So you can purchase, individuals can purchase under the intellectusstatistics.com. You can go to
Mhm.
pricing, and individuals can purchase it for $59 for the month. And honestly, if you're working on a project, you can bang it out in, very short time. So that's at the individual level. For those faculty online, you can purchase it for your department, or if you want to, we even have whole institutions that are using it. So individual or department or institution adoption.
We also have
Okay, sounds good.
bundles. We also have bundles available, so I put a link in the chat for everyone so you can see those options as well, and then discounts if you purchase for 6 months or a year. But faculty, please reach out to Ashley around purchasing.
So, and there are some of the bundles here of the stats tool, build in different ways, qualitative tool,
Mhm.
and then the lit review tool will be up here as well, I'm assuming. And you can click in here by what you are, okay?
Academics. Okay. All right. Is there a tutorial after signing up or purchasing?
I know for the department purchase, we do send a whole getting started guide. Melissa, at the individual purchase, do they also get the starting guide?
They do, and then they get links to our video tutorials and a lot of other resources. There's also every Tuesday I do an overview session to teach you how to use any of the tools.
Every Tuesday. Okay.
And do you want to put that
Okay.
link into the chat
Yeah,
or the Q&A?
I'll put it in the email. So everyone's going to get an email with the recording, and we'll have links to future webinars, workshops, and that'll be in there.
Awesome. All right. Okay. Other questions? While we're waiting for questions, I guess I'll take one breath there. Can you share your project? So once you have data here, you can take, this is your project, and you can share this project with me. Happy to help you do that now, or you can share it with your faculty or vice versa by just clicking the share button and putting in the email address of the recipient, clicking share. They have to have the tool as well. Okay. So that's, kind of natural. You have to have a similar tool to open it up on, but, and it will come into their shared projects. Okay. So that can happen. I guess I'll take a quick second to, also highlight that we do have, so for those that are, I think this should be Intellectus Lit. So we do have a Intellectus Lit review. So you may be past this point, but for colleagues that are doing a literature review or starting a literature review, there's a little few-minute video that can really help folks in getting a draft of a lit review, and there's lots of other benefits to it. And then you can, view a sample of what a lit review draft might look like, which is kind of grouping articles together, synthesizing that in a paragraph or so, and then also drilling into individual articles. So that's the lit review tool sitting here under Intellectus Lit Review. And then we also have the qualitative tool that you can access under intellectusqualitative.com. You can see that it's doing excerpting important passages, coding, creating themes with descriptions and so forth. So just to let you know that we have you covered for quant and qual and lit review. And I see Ashley's email is up there, and I should say that Ashley, maybe that's the time to do this here. So let me see here. Card slide. So just to know that Samantha can help students So if students want consulting, then contact Samantha@intellectusstatistics.com. Any faculty support, trials, demos, courses, anything around any of the tools, Ashley can help at ashley@intellectus360.com. Melissa could answer any general questions at melissa@. There are websites sitting there. If you want a consultation, which is free, free 15-minute consultation, you can use the QR code there. I guess I will put this out there that if you are working on your lit review, we'll give you a 75% discount to let us work with you. Okay. If you want, contact me or contact Melissa, and it's a good email there. Oop. So me or Melissa, and we'll help out with the lit review the best we can. Okay, have any questions emerged?
Not many. There was a question about if you could upload SPSS files. Yes, you can.
So yes, you can, and this is where to do that, which is under the upload, okay, data files, and then you have that SPSS option there. Other questions?
I don't have any now. Feel free to raise your hand if you have a question and you want us to unmute you, even if you don't have a project to share, or if you did share your project, raise your hand and we can get into that.
And if you want to learn more about the other tools as well, that we do have a webinar this coming Saturday at 11 o'clock, correct?
Yep,
So,
this Saturday at 11 o'clock Eastern. And then we have a hand raised, so I'm gonna unmute.
Hi there. I just had, this is Moira
hi,
speaking.
hello.
Just faculty, and this is my first time using this program for our DMP students.
All right,
And I'm wondering about just some more information about faculty tools for teaching and any course interface that you might have with Canvas.
Melissa, you want to speak to that?
Yeah, so we can send you the courses for you to review. We have a healthcare specific one because we work with so many DMPs, and Ashley will get that over to you. It easily integrates with Canvas. We send you files and instructions, you upload them, and then you just assign those lessons to students, and the grades get reported back to your grade book.
Got it. Thank you.
Sure.
Yep, and they'll work with you. They'll hold your hand through the whole process.
That sounds great. Thank you.
Sure. Other thoughts or questions? It's okay. We'll call it a quick webinar, quick overview. If questions do emerge, do feel free to contact us. And again, students can contact Samantha, faculty Ashley, all other questions Melissa. There's some websites. Our phone number is 888-383-6639. And for a brief consult with me, feel free to use that QR code. All right, and I think with that being said, I think I wish the rest of you all a nice rest of the week. Stay safe, and we look forward to seeing you next time. And look in your email for the webinar video, as well as links to other events and activities and webinars. Okay. All right, terrific. Thank you all. Bye now.